Hey guys, and welcome in our studio in another episode of Digital Classroom. Today we have a tip about emotion, one of the most difficult things in a photo shoot. So join us for today's episode of Digital Classroom. Now, when you shoot a model, and of course I mean photograph a model, right? What is the most important thing that can literally break down your image? And that's emotion. How many portfolio reviews did you do, or how many photos did you see where the emotion of the model is just, it's not there. Let me put it this way, it can destroy your total image. But how do you get that emotion out of your model? How do you make sure that your model prevails to a certain level where you really look at an image and you go like, wow, this is what I want? Well, first of all, make sure that you have a really relaxed environment. So don't push your model right away in the studio. Like, okay, hey, I'm Frank, change your clothes, stand and shoot. Now, make sure that your model is at ease. But most of all, make sure that there's a relaxed environment also with trust. In other words, if a model doesn't really trust the photographer and the photographer tells the model, scream, and there will always be this little bit of hesitation, and she won't scream the way that you want with a real, wow, it really has to be a scream, right? So during the workshop last Saturday, we actually had a perfect example of expression. Now the lighting setup isn't that interesting. So Felisa is our model here, and she decided she wanted to do a dark clown. So we went up on our stage with our Click Pro backdrops, and that's amazing for a setup like that, with a really nice and grungy backdrop. But because she's on the stage, I couldn't use the lighting the way that I wanted. I wanted a spot from the top, straight aiming down on our model. So at that point I already knew, okay, I have to set up something, and then later in, for example, Boris FX or Photoshop, I'm going to create that light beam. But I also wanted something with color. So we decided to do one blue strobe on the right side and one strip light on the left side. Now the blue strobe is a little bit higher up, so already creating that sense of motion in the shot. And later in Boris FX I just added that spot effect and a little bit of dust, as you can see in the final images. But this was about expression, right? Not about a lighting setup and something that I did in Boris. Yes. Now look very closely to the model. Do you see that she's really going into that expression, that laughter, that over the top, almost hysterical? You almost think about the Joker from Batman, right? Well, that's because she isn't acting. She really ended up on the floor laughing out loud. And the thing is, you can never do that with expression. So the moment I saw that I did something that made her laugh, I immediately went into that motion. And I just looked at her and very stoic going like, so, what? Why are you laughing? And that actually, I know with Felisa, that triggers her to go even more into that laughing spree. So, what? Why? Why? Why are you laughing? It's not funny. And she just went like, huh, huh, and I just kept shooting. And at that point, in my head, I was just going like, don't laugh, Frank. Stay stoic, because that will work with her. Because as soon as I started laughing, she will literally not go any further. Of course, at one point we had to stop, otherwise we needed a defibrillator to start her heart again, because she was literally on the floor just crying out from laughing. The cool thing is, one, I get great images, but two, the model had a blast, and also all the students were laughing and they had a blast. So this is something that works all the ways. You get great images because of the great expression. You have a model that really wants to come back because, well, let's be honest, how often do you end up on the floor laughing with a photographer, right? And all the students want to come back because they had a really nice day with great images and they had a lot of laughs. So if I can give you one tip, that's I think the best tip in the world, is make sure that people feel relaxed during your photo shoot and are not afraid to laugh. And maybe you should encourage it just a little bit, because laughing is very healthy. And the lighting setup in this case, it was interesting, but mostly is post-processing. So that's why we didn't do anything about the lighting in this tip, but most about just having fun. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Digital Classroom. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Smash that like button because we really like that. But most of all, tell other people about our channel so we can grow. See you again for the next tip. Keep laughing.